Hey everybody, I am Lavallo, and a lot of you know me as the guy who has been to every single country in the world. And for today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Yesterday on Instagram, I asked all of you to ask me any question that you wanted, and today I am going to answer all of them. So it's going to be rapid fire. I haven't looked at them yet, so I'm excited to see. I know that there are a lot, so let's get into it. I'm excited to see what you ask. I hope it's fun. I asked you to be creative. I hope it's not the questions that I always get that you can already see answered at other parts of the channel. So let me see. I am ready. I have my tea here. The cats are behind me. There's one of them. Okay, let's go scroll to the very bottom. I'm going to answer in order that they were asked. When are you coming back to Pakistan? I would love to go back anytime soon, but I want to go back for a reason, to give a speech or see something new. Which destination disappointed your expectations? I really, really love Ethiopian food. And yet the first time I went to Ethiopia, I never had a meal that I really, really liked. But the second time I went back, that got fixed. What is your main income to afford traveling for you? I have a video about that, but it's my job. I work. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving at all now that you live outside of the US? Sometimes I go to the embassy has a Thanksgiving event. Have you tried cevapi in Bosnia and Herzegovina? They are better than anywhere I have. Country you will never return? There isn't any. I think it would be fun to see places because they're all changing. Some I don't want to return to this year, but I would be excited to see it change. What do you suggest for a solo female traveler to be safe and enjoy her traveling? Maybe don't travel solo, travel with friends if that makes you feel safer, or go to places where you feel safe. You definitely shouldn't do something that scares you if it's a rational fear. What is the most beautiful mosque or church you have been to? I love the Sheikh Zayed Mosque here in Abu Dhabi. What would you do if someone asked you that they were interested in converting to Islam? I would just have a good conversation with them, ask them what they believe in, answer any questions that I can, and give them the resources to do that. The tastiest cuisine? Italian, obviously, since I'm Italian. How many proposals have you received? A lot. How many proposals have I given? None. Yet, I'm looking. Do you recommend traveling alone? I like traveling alone sometimes, but different people like different things. Someone just said hi. How long did you typically spend in each country? I have an Excel that tells me all of this. So I think I know the exact number. I think it's 6.7 days on average. But I think the median is 5. In most of the Middle East and African countries that you traveled, did you stay in Airbnb or hotels? In Middle East and Africa, mostly hotels, and a lot of Airbnb in Africa, actually, especially in 2016. They're so cute. They're playing with each other down there. How do you meet people while traveling? I just talk to anybody, or through friends. I usually ask people who I know, does anybody have any friends in this country? Which country in Europe disturbed you the most in culture and tradition? That's an interesting question. Disturbed me? I don't know if any country in Europe disturbed me. What do you think about Senegal, and do you think Dakar is expensive? I like Senegal. I really, really like the food there. The people are nice. There's a lot of... I don't think it was that expensive. How do you legitimize your religion against oppressive views? I think that there aren't really oppressive views in Islam. I think it's a misunderstanding, not only by outsiders, but that Muslims ourselves don't really always follow the niyyah or the intention of the rules. What will I have to do to intern or work for you? I guess I need a company. God, they're way more interesting than I am. The cat's wrestling. I don't have any interns. I have an assistant. He does everything for me. I don't think we need anybody else. Which country did you enjoy visiting the most? The UAE, which is why I live here. Would you like to visit prison again? I loved being in Kosovo. I'd love to stay longer. I have a really fun video from my time there this year in March or something. As a student, what's the best way to travel across the world? The best plan to make it will help. I think if you can study abroad, do that. It's always fun to travel for a reason and to travel with built-in community. So traveling or studying abroad is great because you have built-in friends and you can you have like a purpose for being there. Do you believe in spirits and aliens? Basically, your thoughts on the universe and existing of other living beings. I'm sure there are other living beings out in the universe. God has many surprises for us. Do you have a girlfriend? I do not. So, if you know anyone in Abu Dhabi, hit me up. If you were able to take one family member to a town or city that you visited and they haven't, who? I would love all of my family to come to my village in Tanzania.
My own farm is currently underwater because it's rainy season, so we went to my favorite place. It's called Kisawasawa. I think it's the most beautiful part. I love coming here for the sunset, taking pictures, and just enjoying it. It doesn't really look real.
Is Abu Dhabi really the best place to live, especially for women? Absolutely. It's incredibly safe, and a lot of people, sorry, I'm just checking that's still recording. Absolutely, it's incredibly safe. There's a lot of opportunities here. It's very clean. It's very fun. It's well located for travel. It's always improving. It's the best place in the world. What's the one takeaway lesson you want to share from all the travel that you did? I want to show that we can always learn more, that the things that you don't even know you don't know are the most exciting things, and that you should always be passionate. When will you get married? When I find the perfect woman. Which country would you say exceeded your expectations? Algeria. I was only supposed to stay for 6 days and I stayed for like a month. I love it. I can't wait to go back. In which cities have you been in Germany, and what's your opinion about Iraqi Kurdistan? So my mother's German. I've been all over Germany. I've been there like 6 or 7 times. I usually go every 2 years, all over every single part really. And I love Iraqi Kurdistan. I had the best time with the best guide, Carwan. What is one common theme of Islam that you've seen in all the places you've traveled? The hospitality and the respect for guests. When you converted to Islam, did you look into the different schools of thoughts? Yes, I did. And I wouldn't say that there's like one that like I fully understand or fully would say I follow yet. Which land do you consider your home, and will you move to another country? Abu Dhabi is my home, the United Arab Emirates. I don't think I will move, but only God knows. What kind of books do you like to read? I usually read 3 at a time, 1 nonfiction, 1 like memoir, and 1 novel, but I like it to change my view on the world in a creative way or new thinking. If you could instantly learn a language, what would it be? Arabic. I would love to be. I live here and I don't speak Arabic very well. What's your favorite country in each continent? In Africa, Tanzania. In South America, Brazil or Argentina. In the northern part of America, probably America. In Europe, Italy. In Asia, UAE. In Oceania, Kiribati. French Guyana, and Suriname. Talk about your experiences. Cool parts of South America. French Guyana, I was like across from Suriname. It was like very forested. It was like really beautiful. Suriname, I was there for New Year's. Lots and lots of fireworks, just like in Amsterdam, where I also was one New Year's. And Guyana, I was in the indigenous areas in the south, in Lethem, so that was really cool. What do you need to be 100% happy? You probably have to like understand. They're fighting a little bit. No, gross. You have to be 100% happy. You have to understand yourself and what motivates you, and then you have to have the ambition and the desire to go out and get it. Do you miss Morocco? We would like to have you again. I do. I've been twice, but I loved it. Como estás? Muy bien. In which cities of Brazil you went? I've been 3 times. Up in the north, in the Wapixana territory, near Roraima, also in Salvador and Bahia, and then in Rio de Janeiro. Would you ever try and best your own record for countries visited the fastest? I don't have any record, and especially not for fastest. It took me 13 years. Do you speak Swahili fluently, and how did you learn it? And do you think same technologies can be used for Arabic? Ndio, ninaweza kuongea Kiswahili, lakini mimi sifikiri ni fluent, lakini hapa nyumbani yangu ninaongea Kiswahili na assistant yangu na kwa rafiki yangu hapo kijiji, Tanzania. What countries, if any, were underwhelming? Maybe some European countries. What's the country you'll never get tired of revisiting again and again? Hello from Algeria. Probably the places where I have family, so Argentina, Italy, Germany, also the UAE and Tanzania. If you're going to pick me up with you for an adventurous trip, where will it be? I like taking people on road trips in the Northern Emirates, in the UAE, in Al Dhafra, in the Western region, in the desert. Where have you been in Switzerland? Do you know any Swiss people? I do know some Swiss people. I was mostly in Zurich. What's your favorite song? That's a good question. My favorite singer is Mariah Carey. I love her voice. My favorite song, though, probably I Giorni by Ludovico Einaudi. It's a piano piece. Across your travels, what was your most enjoyable airline and the most unusual? The most unusual was probably Air Koryo, the North Korean airline, I like Etihad. Do you have any problems with currency conversions? I always lose money on it, but I'd rather just get it over with than try and find the best rate everywhere. Were there any countries that you all underwhelmed? I already answered that. Top 3 countries for food: Italy, the Levant, so Lebanon, Syria, and Japan. Were there any problems regarding the language barrier? Some Russian-speaking countries and some French-speaking countries, especially in West Africa, don't speak a lot of English, and I don't speak a lot of or any Russian or French. Has your opinion on a country changed since the first time you visited? When I first went to Djibouti, I thought it was really boring, and the second time I went back, which I have a video of, I really enjoyed it. Choosing the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, is their religion important to you? I want them to I would love if they believed in God, because it's one of my favorite kind of conversations to have, but I don't care if how exactly that manifests in their life. Which country's infrastructure impressed you the most? Probably the UAE. The beautiful roads, incredible buildings, great ports and airports. What do you think about Dubai's sheikh or leader, and also Saudi's bin Salman? I'm incredibly lucky to be in a region that has insanely visionary leaders that are changing their countries, our country, constantly, and I am endlessly impressed by them. What is the reason why you wake up every day? What keeps you going? I love to continue learning. I like to continue improving. I want to be a better version of myself, and I want to help others to be better versions of themselves. I also love my home of Abu Dhabi, and I'm lucky that the work that I do has an impact on it. How has your journey of rediscovering faith in Islam been so far, especially in today's day? It's always like a challenge. It ebbs and flows, but it's the best thing in my life. Do you work in a team that we can work for or be a part of? Not really. Have you ever done skiing or snow activities in Kashmir? Are you up for it? January? Yeah, let me know. What is the meaning of your name? Salvatore, it means savior in Italian, or it's an Italian name. Best advice for planning trips to places off the beaten track? Just do some research and just go and do it. Don't plan too much. Do you enjoy Georgia? Yes, I've been twice. I love Tbilisi. I love the food. I love the mountains. Do you think you'll stay in the UAE forever or move somewhere else? I'd love to stay here forever, God willing. What is about humans that intrigue you the most? I sometimes get blown away by just thinking that everybody has 24 hours in their day. Like the guy that you see when you're just driving past them on the street, but also Obama and also the sheikh. Everybody has 24 hours in their day. Everybody is thinking right now. That's mind-blowing. Mambo utarudi lini Tanzania. Sijui ninapenda kurudi kila mwaka, lakini nilienda mwaka hii. Kwa hiyo ninafikiri nitarudi mwaka kesho, lakini sijui exactly. If you could go back in time to any time period and country, what would it be and why? I'd love to go to the future instead of the past, because I don't want to go to, I think the world is getting better and better. I would love to go to the future. Top 5 favorite foods and drinks. I have a video called Best Foods, so that has all of my favorite meals. Since you converted to Islam, have you attended a Catholic Mass? Yeah, when I visited my grandparents, I went to Catholic Mass with them. One advice you would give a 21-year-old looking for career and development. I would say that when you're only 21 years old, you should look at careers that will teach you. Look at jobs where you're going to be learning. The focus in the first 30 years of your life should just be to learn as much as you can. If you could time travel, would you go to the past or future? the future. Just answered that. What did you study in college? I studied economic development and identity. For me, it was perfect. What is your biggest pet peeve? Oh, probably when people ask me, have you been to, and then insert a country, because yes, I've been to all of them. Would you ever consider changing your living place? I would like to suggest Syria. I love where I am now. What is the country you saw the least women in public places? That's a good question. Oh, Yemen. Definitely Yemen. Random encounter that happened during your travels, high school or celebrity, or just 2 days ago I was in an elevator and some guy said, hey Sal, like, I haven't seen you in forever, how are you? And I was like, oh, it's great, good to see you. But I was on the way to a meeting and I wasn't focused. And then he sent me a message and it was a buddy of mine from boarding school that I haven't seen in 10 years. And I was just like, hey, what's up? Like, as if it was yesterday that we hung out. So we're getting lunch next week. You visited all the world, so you saw all kinds of people, including women. How you didn't find the one? Hey, it's a challenge. We're working on it. What do you think counts as visiting a country? Is it stepping foot in it? I think you have to have an experience. I always say that if I meet somebody from that country, I have to be able to talk to them about it. Does a layover count? If you leave the airport and have an experience and it's and you feel like you've been there, then okay. What is the common things you notice between people all over the world? We all want to be loved. As a Muslim, what do you think about genocides and then listed all this place? Obviously, not just as a Muslim, but as a human, genocide anywhere is horrific. What is something that is normal in a particular country but is strange to you? Like the traditions from that Uzbek wedding that I just posted that video about, some of that was funny to me. Do you want to go to every unrecognized state? No, but maybe it'd be fun to see. I've been to a lot of them. I think it'd be cool to see more. Can you tell us about your experience in Mexico? I did Mexico for spring break my junior year of high school. We were in the north in Baja, and we did like a marine biology research project. The country you spent the least time in, Guatemala, which makes me so sad because I had this whole 10-day trip planned, and then unfortunately I had a family emergency and I had to get out very fast. But it was kind of cool because I entered by boat, and then like I had a good meal, and it was a part of the country that I never thought I would see, so I was still happy with the experience. That's something that's not a question. Please give me tips on how to learn new languages. Just like embed yourself in it. How do you connect with people and find cool things? Just stay open. I don't over plan. I just go with the flow. How did your relative friends react to your conversion? They were happy about it. I talk in more detail about that in the conversion video. What is your source of motivation? I think probably God, or knowing that there's always more to learn. What do you think about flying according to climate changes? I think there are so many more areas in our life where we can have that impact, and you shouldn't fly just for no reason, but I think that I get a lot out of travel. You can do carbon offsetting. If you could live permanently in any one country, which would you choose? In the UAE, which is why I have chosen that. What do you think about the Basques? Have you ever been? I have once with a buddy who is Basque, so that was cool to learn about that from him. Can you get me a job? Dead serious. I'll send you my resume. Probably not, unless you're in Abu Dhabi and doing investments. How do people all over the world react when you, as a white guy, say you're a Muslim? I think if they're Muslim, they're pretty excited. Sometimes they're curious. Happy to answer any question, just like I'm doing right now. What inspired you to visit every country? Congrats. And thank you for all the awesome videos. Thank you. That's very nice. I love seeing the differences in different cultures around the world and economies around the world, and also all the similarities. Are you married? If not, will you have a big wedding and invite a few followers? I am not married. I have no idea what my wedding will be like. Probably depends on the woman. How do you manage to stay positive and happy whilst there is so much hatred and evil? Because there's so much more positivity. How do you deal with being single, loneliness while traveling the world? I mean, you can, just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Where have you seen the best sunsets? In Omoa, Honduras. Your favorite thing about Libya? The sunset that I saw in Tripoli. Also the food. What's the difference you notice by visiting Arab Muslim countries and non-Arab Muslim countries? They all have a lot of differences, and they all have a lot of cultural aspects that they think are Islam, but they're actually just culture, so I find that really funny. Of all the cities you visited, which would you say is the most vibrant and fun to be in? I have this video called Best Cities, so I talk about it there. Probably like New York, Tokyo, Berlin. What was Micronesia like, and was it difficult to travel there? The flights are not very often, and they get canceled sometimes. It was beautiful. I got a bicycle for a day, and I almost got bit by a dog, so that wasn't fun. But it was beautiful. It rained a lot when I was there, though. Tips for booking flights online: just search around for the cheapest. Of all the countries you visited, which country's language you find the most amusing? I like the some Asian languages are fascinating. I also like in Southern Africa the clicking languages. When are you coming to Kashmir? Whenever somebody invites me. Salam Sal, how do you juggle your time, career, financial, and travel at the same time? I don't know. I mean, I have vacation days, and I don't know. I just like do whatever I want. What do you think about South America? I find that the most full-time travelers overlook. I love South America. At the beginning of my travels, because it's close to America, that's the first place that I would travel a lot to. I haven't been back that often recently just because it's far away from me. What was your favorite part about visiting Albania? I had this good meal in Tirana with this really cool guy, and I ate a goat head. Was there a particular event prompting you to convert to Islam, or did it happen gradually? I have a whole video about that, 30-minute long. Go watch that. I mean, this one is already 20, so if you've made it to now, you can go watch that one. Did you ever get fed up of traveling, or was it always exciting? Now that I have like a house and cats that I miss, I don't like taking very long trips. But I don't get, and sometimes I get fed up with the traveling in terms of the planes and stuff, but no. Which wedding ceremony you are curious of and most interesting? They're all interesting. I've been recently to really cool ones in Lesotho. I have a video about that, and Uzbekistan just posted a video about that. I'm very excited. In about a year, one of my really good friends is getting married in India. It'll be my first big proper Indian wedding. I love your content. If you like photography, check out my profile. Okay, that's not a question. Is there a country you worried about traveling to and then turned out to be not as scary? A lot of the scary ones, like Syria, Libya, all of those ones are fine. Am I gay? No, unfortunately for Derwin, whoever that is. Any regrets in how you did your journey? No, I don't think so. It all led me to here, and I'm happy. Are you actually working a 9-to-5 job in the sense you're in an office for 8 hours a day? I'm in an office usually for 12 or 10 or more hours a day. I wish it was just 9 to 5. I work a lot. What's one best advice? But I love the job. I mean, I could work 9 to 5 if I want to technically, but I like doing what I do. What's one best advice you give to a person planning to travel most Southeast Asia? Go by road. Why not? It's fun to see small little villages. Don't only do the cities. Assalamu alaikum. I'm curious, where are you from? I grew up in the U.S. I'm Italian and German, and I live in the UAE and Tanzania. In 5 years, how do you imagine you live, and what do you want to achieve? I will be 34 in 5 years. I would love to be married and maybe have a kid. I would love to be further along in my career. I would love to be more established in Abu Dhabi. Since you live in Abu Dhabi, can you do a meet and greet? Yeah, I should think about that. My favorite sports, I swim and I play tennis and I do gymnastics. Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales? Probably fur. I don't know. I have a lot of fur already anyway, so. What is the one thing that you will tell your younger self? Maybe I would say to not worry so much. Do you ever get tired of all the traveling when you're already on a trip, and how do you manage? If I do, I just slow down. I just spend the whole day in the hotel, or I don't. I'm really good about waking up every day and doing what I want and not worrying what I have to do. One of the most beautiful girls that was on your trip. There's been a lot of beautiful girls all over the world. The most beautiful one, I don't know. I've seen a lot. Do you ever have mixed feelings about visiting countries that have poor women's rights or LGBT rights? I don't think that as a tourist you're really contributing to that very much. It can be somewhat separate from politics. It's also good to learn about it by traveling to that country because we might have a completely skewed view. Favorite subway or metro system? New York, because it stays open all the time, 24 hours. It's one of the few that does it. A favorite public library? I don't think I have one. Are you restricted from going anywhere because of living in the UAE? Yes, I think so. I mean, not formally. Are there any countries or cities that you thought were really overrated that let you down? I don't love going anywhere that I'm not, like, if I don't have a friend there or a connection there or something specific to see. Like, some cities are just a big city, like Kuala Lumpur or somewhere. Like, I bet it would be amazing to go there with someone who I knew, who like knew the city. But when I went, I didn't have that. What do you like most about Pakistan? Maybe the food? Have you noticed that most visit every country people seem to be men? Yes, because it's a complicated thing that requires money and safety, and we live in a patriarchal society where most people with money and the ability to feel safe are men. White men, I would add. What airline status levels do you have? Now I think I don't, because I haven't been traveling as much. I mean, I travel like once a month, but I don't travel on one airline. Are you concerned about a post-oil future of the UAE? No, because we're working on what that will look like, economies of the future, knowledge economies. How many languages do you speak? Can you say anything in each? So I can speak, or here I'll say like, yo puedo hablar en español, pero mi acento es muy gringo, y también ich kann Deutsch sprechen, weil meine Mutter ist Deutsch, aber nach meinem Akzent ist hässlich und ich kann in Kiswahili ongea kwa sababu nina shamba hapo na pia ninaweza kuongea kidogo Kiarabi lakini maarif too much, and a little bit of French and Italian. If you like push me to do it. Have you ever told anyone you were Canadian to avoid being hassled for being American? No. What manifestation of climate change have you seen in your travels? To be honest, I don't know, but probably a lot without even noticing it. Most underrated cities, we already talked about that. What exactly is your job? I have a video called Why I Returned to 9 to 5 where I talk about that. Are you anxious about the rise of authoritarian leaders around the globe? Yes. Marry me? Let's talk. Why don't you set up a meet and greet in Abu Dhabi? Maybe I will. 2 people asked that. How did you financially start your journey? Do you need to have connections? I started traveling to visit family that lived abroad, so it was cheaper. I would pay for the flight, and then when I would get there, I had no hotels or anything. Have I ever gotten robbed? Yes. Are there any countries or cities that you hated at first, then came to love? Talked about Djibouti earlier. So you have a farm in Zimbabwe. How did you get into that? I do not have a farm in Zimbabwe. I have 3 in Tanzania. When did you come to Bangladesh? 2015. Tips for traveling with a weak Bangladeshi passport. From a different guy. Go to the places that you can and travel within your country. Travel isn't about getting on a plane and going across the world. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Just wanted to understand how you plan to explore the world. I wish that I planned it better than I did. To be honest, it was just like, it wasn't super organized. What is a fear you're yet to conquer? I don't know. I don't like heights, but I I'll walk across narrow, shaky bridges even though. What a recommendation would you give to a future world traveler? Do what you want to do, not what you think you should. Did you visit Yemen? Yes, I visited every country in the world. What is your favorite airline? Etihad. Why you like traveling in Central Asia? I think Central Asia is so cool because it's a place that we don't know that much about and people don't talk about, and yet I think it's one of the nicest places to travel in because it's so beautiful, the food is so good, the people are hospitable, It's safe. I really like it. What's your naughtiest travel memory? See, I was hoping for more questions like that, like, like to keep me on edge or something. My naughtiest travel memory. Depends what you define as naughty. Once I stayed in a hotel for like 3 weeks, and I had like platinum status at the hotel, so I got like a free dinner like thing every night, and I invited a lot of different girls, like one every night to the free food to hang out. Would you ever come to Macedonia again? How was your last trip? I've been twice. I have a video about Skopje. I would of course go back. I love your style. Thank you. Will you marry me? Maybe. Do you have a video on how to travel to between Pacific Island nations? I have a video about Tuvalu called Visiting the World's Least Populated Country. What's the most underrated country? Underrated. Maybe probably Eritrea. I have like 3 videos about Eritrea. I really love it. What's been your most powerful experience? Like, I love when I meet someone that seems so different, but is so similar. Like when I was in North Korea and talked to the guide there, or when I was in this bus trip with this refugee in Guinea. What clothing items can't you travel without? I always fly in like sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt because I get cold on the plane. And I want to be comfortable and I want to sleep. What was your biggest factor in your travels that led you to becoming Muslim? I have a whole video all about that. Aside from your passport, money, card, phone, camera, what's one thing you need for travel? Passport, wallet, phone. Those are the 3 things I always say. And camera, I guess. What's one thing you need to travel? I mean, maybe a journal to keep track. What's the worst part of traveling full-time and having been to all countries? The worst part about traveling full-time was, for me, because I didn't have a home base, that like made me feel anxious. I didn't have I couldn't just like put all of my things in one place. Sending love your way. Thank you. Do you earn any passive income outside of social media which helps you fund your traveling? I have some investments that sometimes do well. I do speaking engagements. I have a job. Which country is the worst type of food? It's an interesting question. You know what I hate? I hate like a lot of carbs, and I find it so weird. Egypt has this, and some places in West Africa have this, where it's noodles with rice, with like potatoes. It's like, why do you need that many carbs? If you visit Pakistan, a lot of Pakistanis hitting me up. Where would you go? I'd love to go to Kashmir. I've not been to Karachi. I'd love to go to the mountains. I'd love to go to Peshawar. I'd love to go all over. Are you single? Yes, I am very, very single. Who edits your videos? My assistant, Juma, also known as Ramagobs. Are you planning to come and visit Somaliland again? I would love to go back to Somaliland. I really liked Hargeisa and Berbera. Just want to know what most drove you to your conversion. I have a whole video about that. At what age will you get married? Whenever I find the girl. What do you like in India? India is challenging because it's always hard and it's always amazing. So I like that it's like a sensory overload. So many smells, so many sights, so many like noises. Which part of Somalia? I went to Somaliland, Hargeisa, and Berbera. How do you normally conduct your research before going to a country? I usually message people who I might know from there. Sometimes I ask you guys on Instagram. How was your day? Thank you for asking. I had a really good day. I got my new Christmas present for myself, which I'll show you guys later. And I did a really good workout where I hit a personal goal. Please describe your experience in Syria. I went for Eid to stay with my friend's family in Damascus in 2017, and I loved it, and I gained like 3 kilos. Favorite place in Colombia? I was really, really sick in Bogota, so I didn't get to do much. But we spent a lot of time in Cali because I had a friend there. We went to a football match, which was really fun. When you next visit Pakistan? Wow, Pakistan isn't even one of my the countries I have the most followers from. It's not in my top 5, but you guys are asking lots of questions. I love it. Um, well, I'll go soon. It's so close. What's the thing which led you to your soul searching? Watch that video. What annoys you? People ask me if I've been to a country because I've been to all of them. Have you been to and exactly this is what happened. Have you been to Turkey or Pakistan? Both of them. I've been to every country. What advice for solo travel and regarding safety? Don't travel solo. Travel with other people. How much do you think your perspective about everything changed? What is the next big thing? It's always changing. I traveled for 13 years. It wasn't like a 2-year thing. So asking me how like the travel changing is like asking me how I've grown up. What is your name after accepting Islam? I did get given a Muslim name, but I don't say it publicly. Will you marry me? Maybe. I wonder how many. We should count how many people ask me that. It's only like 4. What's your favorite chocolate? I like Bounties. I like really dark chocolate. I like chocolate that has caramel in it. I like chocolate that has like orange zest. What are some tips for getting money for travel? Get a job? I don't know. Can I join you on your next adventure? If you buy the tickets for me and the hotels. How would you promote sustainable travel? I just did a video about that actually because I'm not an expert on it, but my friend Mariska is, and so she gave me lots of tips. Do you celebrate Muslim holidays? I do. How much did it cost for you personally, non-sponsored trips to visit every country in the world? I have a video about that called How I Afforded to Travel to Every Country in the World. Someone just sent a thumbs up. What is the biggest impact you feel happening to yourself because of traveling? I'm just feeling way more connected to everybody around the world. Any plans to come to Turkey? None currently, but I would love to. Do you ever feel alone? How do you deal with it? Yeah, sometimes. Then I just call up a friend, snuggle with the kittens. Why did you buy land in Tanzania? What made you do so? I love this village in Tanzania, and I just wanted more of a connection to it. In which year did you buy the land in Tanzania? 2013. What are your views on bisexuality? I guess it's like more fun for them because they're attracted to everybody. So, yeah, whatever they want to do. Ever been to Pitcairn or Tristan da Cunha? I've not, but I would love to go to both of them. What kind of life partner do you wish for? I want her to be smarter than me, really ambitious, beautiful. I want to just be able to talk to her all the time, and that would be great. What language do you recommend learning for traveling to every country? English and Spanish. Well, first it's English, Russian, French, because Russian and French, like I said before, there's a lot of countries where they speak Russian and French and nothing else, and Spanish, but most Spanish countries you can get by with English. Those would get you by the most. Why did you let go your fiance? You should have asked her to stay. I never had a fiance. You're so humble. Love to meet you one day. Love to meet you too. Thank you. What 2 countries have a very similar culture, but they're in completely different places? That's a great question. I would say that Latin hospitality and Arab hospitality are pretty similar. About the wedding, why do you make a noise with the kitchen tools? So I just posted a video about a wedding in Uzbekistan, and we did we bang, bang, bang. It was like the unmarried men asking for presents to be silenced. What has been your favorite Middle Eastern city? The UAE? Or Abu Dhabi? The UAE? Why did you choose the UAE to study? My advisor was the president of NYU at the time, and the campus here was his baby, so he told me to come. What do you think about nationalism? Do you think it's a good thing? I think it's good to have things that you're proud of and identities that you feel strongly towards and that make you feel excited and part of a community. However, where I think that nationalism can be negative is when it makes you feel animosity towards others. So it's good that it brings you together with people it's bad if you let that eliminate your connection with others. But you can love your country and love other people. For example, I love the UAE, but that doesn't mean that I don't love people from all other countries. And the final question of the night, right about 45 minutes, to which country would you travel with me? From my buddy Tom. I would love, let's go anywhere, dude. Let's do an adventure. Let me know. Travel Tom. Let's see if in the last 45 minutes there have been any other questions. Oh, I already answered them because I opened the phone again. So, thank you guys so much for whoever has made it to the end, 45 minutes. I hope that this was fun for you in some way. I was hoping there'd be more like crazy questions, so maybe we'll do it again and you guys can actually challenge me this time, that time. But thank you anyway. It's always fun to talk to you. I hope you've enjoyed this a little bit and that you have enjoyed asking me questions. Of course, comment down below, like and subscribe, and I hope that everybody will travel safe and sleep well, just like the little kitten back there.